Welcome to USA Global TV and Radio, where our mission is to provide education, entertainment, hope, and inspiration. USA Global TV and Radio connects you with experts and audiences all around the world every single day to help you succeed in business and to live a richer life. Visit us at usaglobaltv.com to learn about career and life-changing training and mentoring programs like the Listening Mentor. Subscribe to our newsletter to stay informed about our special programs and offers. Discover how you can become a guest on one of our shows or a host or producer of a USA Global TV and Radio show of your very own. That's USA Global TV and Radio, where the doctor is always in.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to this celebration here at USA Global TV and Radio as we are on our 100th episode for the Mallorca Connection. I'm Dr. Jacalyn-Kerbeck. I'm your host for today. And the star of our show is Mr. Roland-Friedl. And I just want to give a huge shout out and a giant virtual hug to Roland because he's been with me here for probably 3 years, if not more. He's been on hundreds and hundreds of shows. He's been on Wild at Heart, Talking Heads. Roland, you got to come out and tell me the rest of them because I can't remember all of them. The Planet Show, It's Your Healthy Lifestyle, The Earth Show, and of course this show, the Mallorca Connection. So congratulations, Roland-Friedl, for another 100 episodes.
Celebrations. Yeah, I can't believe it. Hello, Dr. Jacalyn. Hello to our audience, and thanks. Yeah, I thank you, Dr. Jacalyn, for really bringing USA Global TV on the market and having this amazing launch. And yeah, you do an amazing job, and it's just a small contribution I do on a daily, on a weekly basis, and I love it. Thanks a lot for the trust, and thanks a lot for the friendship and the partnership. Thanks.
Well, back at you, because it really means a lot. You are traveling and you make it a priority to find a place where they have internet so that you can connect. So I really do appreciate you. You've changed your motorhome so you can have a green screen in your equipment and you're ready to roll. And you also have your own platform. Tell our friends out there about that before we get into today's topic.
Yeah, thank you. Well, I started my own German-speaking platform. And the reason for that is because we had on USA Global TV and Radio with 7 different guys from different parts of the world. We have this amazing Wild at Heart show, a show for men, by men, about men. And we did it 50 times, so a whole year, weekly. And, I do a lot of men's work. I go to men's festivals and men's congresses. And last year on a men's festival, I decided to run a video podcast on YouTube in German, because there's so many men outside who want to be a real man again, feel their balls again, came in back to their masculinity. And on the other hand, there are some really amazing coaches out there to support this man. So I want to say, okay, I build up a platform like you do, Dr. Jacalyn, here on this educational platform, USA Global Radio. I do it on a smaller size in German. To establish a platform where those guys who deliver an amazing content or advice or coaching to those who need. That's what I'm doing, and it's called Wild at Heart on Roland Media.
Well, we congratulate you and thank you and salute you for everything that you're doing to help men across the world. And today we're going to be talking about something else that you know extremely well, what it's like to embrace a wireless work and lifestyle. So if you wouldn't mind just sharing with our audience, we have new people joining us all the time. Tell us the backstory about how you were on the island of Mallorca and how you're in your motorhome now.
Yeah. Well, thank you. Well, since my early years, I remember I rose up in a lower middle class family. I remember my dad, he bought the first car. I was 8 years old, and I could go to the sea because I was born and raised in the middle of Europe, in Austria, a small beautiful country, but no sea access. And I don't know, but I love the sea. So with a neighbor, we had a lovely neighbor. And she went with her grandson in her car to Italy, to the sea in summer. And she gave me the chance I can go with her. And I was 5 or 6 years old, something like that. And I came back, and it was a flash, and I said, "Wow, wow, wow! To see, I love it, I love it, love it." And from that time on, it was my dream to move to the seaside. And so when I went to school, I was working a lot besides the school, so I could finance my traveling. I was always traveling. I started in Europe, then I went in the US, and I went to South America, Asia, Africa. I love traveling all the time, and I was always looking also for business opportunities where I combine this. So besides my business in nutrition and other areas, I went in the consulting industry 30 years ago. And I could travel the whole globe. I've ever been everywhere except Australia. I've been delivering trainings of course, in Europe, in Asia, in Middle East, in whole Africa from north to south, in the US, in Canada, and in Middle America and South America. So I always love to travel. And then one day I said, well, it's cool to travel for business, but how about changing my home base and working from an island like Mallorca? Then I was 2 times for a few months in Bali, working from Bali. I was working from Peru, and then from 2008 to 14, I was on this beautiful Spanish island. And after that, with the pandemic and everything, I decided I give Mallorca up. And it was always my dream traveling around Europe with my dog, because to be honest, I always missed my dogs when I was traveling. And yeah, work from a motorhome. Why not? So I found out it's a cool way. So I invested some money in some technical stuff, so got some good router, antenna, stuff like that. I actually have 2 routers. So I always try to do my best to have a good network so I can work. And yeah, so since April 2022, a little bit more than 2 years and 3 months, something like that, I'm working and traveling in my motorhome through Europe. And I just today, I arrived in Denmark. So I'm right now I'm in Denmark, very close to an amazing beach, and I try to make sure that I have a good network here. So yeah, that's more or less my way of living. I love traveling. I love meeting other people. I love to learn from other cultures, and I want to combine it. Of course, we all need money. We have to settle our bills. So I was looking for a way how I can combine my traveling and my working. So I only accept projects at the moment that really fit to my lifestyle, not the other way around. That's what I'm doing.
I love that. You shared something that we didn't really talk about before, the joy and happiness you get from having your dog with you.
Yeah, she's my one and only.
Now, what about your cat?
Oh, Phoenix. No, he's not with me anymore. He was with me in Mallorca. He was with me in 8 countries, I guess. But it was not my cat, to be honest. It was my ex-girlfriend. So last year, before I went to Sicily, I decided to give it back to her, because in Sicily you have a lot of wild cats and wild dogs, and I was a little bit scared that something is happening to him, because he was always in the night, especially in the night, outside. He came back for breakfast, so I gave it back. So the dog Phoenix, the cat Phoenix is not with me anymore. I still miss him, so some do a FaceTime video conference. And my ex-girlfriend sees the dog. Yeah, but I'm just with a lower with the dog. Yeah.
Well, I think what you shared really relates to our topic last week, which was the Wheel of Happiness. And I thank you for sharing that, because I actually used it in a course that I taught that night. The Wheel of Happiness. So if we look at those 6 quadrants, and if you want to just give a quick overview, where would you say you stand with your wireless life in those 6 quadrants?
Okay, so first of all, go to YouTube. There's a recording about the happiness circle. Happiness circles is a analyzer of your status quo. How happy are you in your life? And it has 2 main parts. It has 3 parts. For me, it's the base, is the foundation. I call them the crystal balls, meaning when you let them fall, they just break. So you have to take care about us. And this is the base of life, or actually our natural base. And it's about relationships, the relationship to yourself, to your families, to your friends, to your business, and so on. Relationship. Then it's health, physical health and mental health, and then it's personal development. And I always say, with personal development, I don't mean just making your machine more efficient. learning more tools in school. It's about really working on doing your shadow work, working on your trauma, and becoming a better version of yourself. And it's not about performing better, becoming a better human being. That's personal development. And this is for me the base. This is called the crystal ball. And then we have the rubber balls, the three other sections. This is career, lifestyle, and income. And they're interacting. What I mean is, lifestyle is not really fun when you don't have a good relationship to yourself and friends, when you have to do everything alone. You cannot make a career with when you're not fully healthy and fully capable of all your potential. And it's difficult to make income when you don't work on your personality. So this is the so-called happiness cycle. When we talk about wireless life, for me, it means relationships are very, 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 very important. So when I'm traveling, some people say, yeah, but you don't meet friends on a regular basis. To be honest, when somebody is living in a city, in a village, wherever, the friends you meet there, are these real friends, or is this just people you're partying and having a good time, or is it a friend where you really open up your heart and talk everything? I still have friends, and we just do, sometimes when I'm in the country, like on Thursday I meet Biero in Norway. I meet them up on Sunday evening. When I left Austria, I went for my first stop over. I was in Germany, and I know that the guy is living there, and he came in 2019 to the island, and I invited him for free to stay at my house, and I gave him a free coaching. And he said, Roland, I'm so thankful for that, what you did to me. So I want to invite you for dinner. So on Sunday, I met this guy again for dinner. So I'm always in contact, meaning seeing somebody face to face, or I do a lot of video calls. I also do a lot of video calls with my sons and friends. So I always stay in contact. So I would say relationship is very important. When not only when you do a wireless life meeting or you're traveling, stuff like that, of course, health is always important. Being mentally and physically healthy is very important. And personal development too, because, you have to be self-responsible. You need a discipline, because nobody's telling me when I wake up in the morning, when I start working, and so on. So you need discipline, self-responsibility, and many other things. So yeah, it's the base. And it's also my lifestyle. This is the base: relationships, health, and personal development. And then you can build up the lifestyle that you want. My lifestyle is traveling. I love it. Then you can make a career, and then you can also generate income. It's the same that in a normal life, when you're in a corporate world and running your business at home, whatever.
Roland, I know how happy you are, and it really comes across, and we like to provide people with education. What are some of the opportunity costs that you've had as a result of living this type of lifestyle? I'm not sure Roland's with us. We can't actually hear you. I think you have to go out and come back in again. Yeah, I think you should come back in again. So we're talking about a wireless lifestyle. And for those of you who may have just joined us, Roland was living on an island for years and traveling, flying wherever it is he had to go for business. And he decided to give it up and to invest some money into the motorhome he already had, so that it was conducive to traveling and to doing television shows. And now he's living a completely wireless life. And so we're talking about the opportunity costs, obviously, one of which could be the fact that you might not always have a good network or a stable network. You just don't know when you're traveling what's going to happen. But on the positive side, it sounds like there's so many things that he really appreciates about having this particular lifestyle. So I'm wondering if anyone out there in the audience has had a wireless lifestyle. Is there anyone living in an RV, or people who have just decided to maybe give up their big home for a tiny home? I've seen a number of shows and stories on that for people who are living in tiny houses. They don't need as much space because they've just decided having all this stuff and all the responsibility to take care of the stuff is not the way that they want to live. So we're going to hear more from Roland when he comes back to join us. And we're going to take a quick break, and we're going to hear from one of our other team members about something really important, which is dementia home care. So if you know anyone who has dementia or Alzheimer's, please do take a listen. 5 little known secrets for dementia caregivers with Tracy Cram Perkins.
Hi there. I am Tracy Cram-Perkins, the host of the Dementia Home Care Show here on USA Global TV and Radio. I am also the author of the book of the same name. And you'll see this QR code. This is for an extended version of the same talk. So if you want to see the full hour-long version, feel free to scan the code and go to that website. Stick with me. We'll talk about 5 little-known secrets to make it a little easier to do dementia caregiving. What you're seeing on the left-hand side is a healthy aged brain, age 55 and above. The one you're seeing on the right is an Alzheimer's disease brain. It is in moderate disease. It is shrinking. It has holes in it. The memories that were in those holes no longer exist. When you're learning something, let's say in kindergarten, you learn how to tie your shoelace. Well, then by the time you're in 2nd grade, your brain remembers that information from tying the shoelace and applies it so you can learn more quickly how to tie more complex knots. So the brain is hardwired to do this for us, so it helps us learn faster so it doesn't take us long to acquire knowledge. The brain is looking for the information and they pick the closest to wherever that hole is. Let's look at some tips that we can use to help do that.
These are 5 simple tools you can use as a dementia caregiver to help your loved one. The whiteboard is a useful tool in recording the day's activities and the answers to repetitive questions. The calendar clock is a very useful tool to orient your loved one on the day, the date, and the time, and remind them of upcoming appointments. The communication cards are a great tool to bridge the gap when they can no longer tell you what's wrong. And then there's the pill minder for when your loved one is still able to take pills but needs prompting. The final tool I want to share with you is the memory book. It tells your loved one's story. It's a great tool for distraction, redirection, also as a conversation starter, and telling you where they are in their story so you know how to answer their questions.
Music is probably the most powerful tool in your toolbox after laughter. Music is a way to maintain connection. It sticks with your brain longer than any other thing, including reading. When you're having an issue with somebody, you can play their favorite music if you move them to another room, something that makes them happy, or you can start singing songs together from their childhood. These are some of my favorite books for caregivers. My show airs on the 3rd Tuesday of every month, and you can view past episodes on YouTube. Thank you, everyone.
This program has been brought to you in part by Tracy Cram-Perkins. Connect with her and order her book at tracycramperkins.com. For more information about Alzheimer's disease, support resources, and how you can help, contact the Alzheimer's Association at 1-800-272-3900 or visit their website at www.alz.org. They offer 24/7 helpline support and a wealth of information to assist you and your loved ones. Well, we're back. Hello, Roland. Good to see you again.
Hello, Jill. Hello, to audience. Yeah, I use my smartphone as a hotspot because the camping site network is very poor. And then somebody, it's muted, but somebody tried to call me on FaceTime, and then it disconnected and went to the campsite when it was working. So I had to restart my smartphone. So sorry, I'm back.
That's okay. I was telling the audience that we were just about to talk about potential opportunity costs of living a wireless life. And one of them is you don't know when you're going to have a network. But what are some things, some considerations for people thinking about a wireless lifestyle? What are some things that you've had to concede or give up or adjust to not having?
Well, but most people will say I had to give up a lot of stuff, and I said I had to give up a little bit to gain everything, to gain freedom, to get freedom about my life and the choices I'm making. What I have to give up, maybe security, if security is important for you. Yeah, maybe giving up. Well, depending what you're doing. I mean, you can work remotely for companies and employ you too, and then you have still your continuing income. What did I give up? I don't miss anything, to be honest.
I'll give an example. So you don't have a mailbox, right? That's one thing.
Okay. Now, well, yeah. I have a mailbox in my company in Switzerland, and the guys there, what they do is they scan. If there's a letter coming, they scan it, especially from the tax authorities. They scan it and send it to me. Yeah.
What
But
about bank
sorry.
accounts?
Oh, I do everything online. I have different apps. I have different bank accounts. I do everything online. And actually, I don't know. I guess it's the US. It seems like here in Europe, if you get a lot of mail, you can go to the post office and I don't know how you call the service in English, but I say, okay, I'm traveling, and you pay an extra fee, but it's not really expensive. Please open all the letters, the post I'm getting, scan it, and mail it to me. So we have different services here in Europe.
Interesting. We have mail forwarding where they give you a preview so you can see the envelope. You can see who sent it if it's on there, but they don't open the mail.
Okay, no, you give them the chance to open it, and then they scan it for you. Yeah.
So you don't miss any of that. What about people that, let's say Mallorca, you had a number of friends there. You're not going to see them on a regular basis. So you're not able to have that same level of interaction with somebody that you might. It has to be virtual, correct?
Yeah, it has to be virtual. Well, actually, my two best friends from Mallorca, we're still in contact. One of them, he's an actor, a German actor. He left the island too, and he's the next 2 or 3 months he's starting his wireless life in his motorhome because he was building his own motorhome. It took him. He told me, Roland, in 6 months I'm on the road. It took him 2 years, to build this motorhome. Yeah, but with my two best friends, I'm still in contact, but it's more virtual. Of course, it's more virtual. But it's the same, And we had I remember we had a week ago, or 2 weeks ago, we had a show about digital communities. I learned that when you meet somebody frequently, so at least once a week or even more often online, you can build up the same, trust and everything. So of course it's better when you can meet somebody and hug somebody, of course. But I know when I've been living, not matter on this island, or when I've been living in my home country for many years, I didn't see most of my family and friends on a daily basis or even weekly basis. So for me, it doesn't make any difference.
No, that's true. And the upside is you get to meet new people all the time.
That's another one. Yeah, absolutely. Especially when you travel alone. When I was traveling with my girlfriend years ago, you stick more together. But when you're traveling alone, you're more open to other conversation if you want to. So sometimes I don't want to see somebody for days. I'm just happy to be alone with my dog, just be out in nature or do my work. I'm working focused. But sometimes I go out and you always meet people outside when you're open-minded and you love to communicate and to talk. And especially when you walk with a dog, you always meet people, always, if you want so.
Yes, definitely. Dogs do draw attention. And previously, I don't know if it was 6 months or a year ago, you had decided you were going to live this remote lifestyle and then potentially go back to having a home somewhere. But then I think you maybe had changed your mind, or you're going to go do in between.
Yeah, I was always traveling, and then I said, yeah, I don't want to travel that much. I'm for business here, and I was looking for a base. So I chose this island, and this island was my home base for 14 years. It was cool, yeah. But then I said, oh, I want to travel more. I don't want a home base. It was a huge house. We organized yoga retreats. I guess it was 10 in total. The total house had 10 bedrooms and 12 bathrooms. It was a lot of work, to be honest, a hell of work. And the costs were high. And then when the pandemic came and we had no retreats, and then we had the costs, but no income. So it was a difficult time. So I decided to give it up. And then I got separated from my girlfriend. So I decided to give it up. And it was always my dream to move into my motorhome, because my motorhome was already there. So I just used it for vacation, stuff like that. And I decided, okay, let's do this one. Less work, less work is less organizing around the motorhome, less cleaning and stuff like that. So there's more time left for leisure, walking, working, whatever. So less costs and less time is binded. And I'm actually, my plan was to do it for 1 year, try it out for 1 year, and then make a decision. and now it's over 2 years, and I have no thoughts about stopping it at the moment. I absolutely love it. I absolutely love it.
I'm glad to hear that. That's excellent. So we're educating people. What are some of the steps people need to take in advance to get ready to have a wireless life? I know a number of people decided to move into their motorhomes or their RVs, and they had to do certain things to prepare for that. So what are some tips you can give people who are thinking about going this way?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, I mean, it doesn't matter if you move into a mobile home or you move to an island or you move in the mountains on the lakeside. It doesn't matter. I mean, you just move. First thing, be sure that you're not escaping or running away from something, because you're taking yourself with you, your habits and your attitudes and your mindset. So don't run away from something, especially when you leave your home country or your hometown. You come to wherever you're moving to. There won't normally you don't have a network there of people that you can rely on. So it's even more difficult to build up a business. So what I do in the coaching session, I had a coaching session actually on Monday with a guy from Germany, a Christian, and he's working the IT, and his wife is doing yoga classes. She's running a yoga studio, and he told me that they've been on a trip, and they have a small camper, and they've been on a trip in Scotland for a month. And I said, wow, it was so amazing. He loves to do photographs, stuff like that. So he's thinking about working remotely, but he doesn't want to continue in the IT industry. He wants to build up something new. And I told him, when you have some savings that you can at least survive for a year, then you can go full in. And otherwise, as I told him, hey, start part-time, reduce a little bit the hours in the IT company, and start part-time from home, building up your business, and then move into your motorhome and travel together with your wife. And your wife, she can offer online courses in studios. So I know that there are a lot of traveling yogis in different studios, and studio owners are always happy to bring in a new face, a new yoga teacher, maybe a new style to their audience for 2 weeks or a month or something like that. So there are always options. But my first thing is, what I always say is, do you really want it, or are you running away from something? So why do you want to work remotely? Why do you want to work and traveling? Is it a nice to have because it looks cool on a YouTube channel or whatever? Yeah, because my experience is that 90% is just fake there. Does it look cool and it's nice to have and it looks nice, or you really want it? And yeah, that's my first question. So we find out the motives why they really want it. Is it a really desire, or it's just a nice to have? That's the first step to find out.
Excellent. So once the person confirms, they have the money, they have the passion and the desire, what are the next steps? I guess telling your family and friends is important. You've got to tell them, hey, I'm not going to be around, but you have to call me on the phone.
Yeah, the next step is, okay, where do you want to live? I had a call yesterday with a young guy. He left Germany. He moved with his girlfriend to Spain. Both have been working remotely for a company online, and then now they separated actually last week. And so this weekend he came back to Germany, put all his stuff into storage. And today he flew out to Georgia, not to Georgia in the US, and in Georgia, here in East Europe, to Tiflis. And I said, life is cheap, but I'll try my best there. So the first step is, where do you want to go? How do you want to live? You want to rent a house, or you can afford to buy a house, or you want to go in a co-working and living place, or you move in a motorhome, or in a car. A friend of mine moved into a caravan. So there are different options. That's the next step. What do you want to do? Yeah. Where do you want to live? Do you want to travel? Do you just want to move to a different spot and stay there and work and live there, like move into an island or whatever? Or you want to move and travel? Meaning, moving and travel means maybe you moving from hotel to hotel, or there are many co-working places and co-working spaces where you can work and live. I don't know, in Bali is a huge community. In Costa Rica is a huge community. In Europe, in Portugal, even in Austria, there are huge communities. In Germany, so actually more and more countries coming on. I know that the island of Madeira, it belongs. It's on the same level like Africa, but it belongs to Portugal. They have special offers for digital nomads. They call it digital nomads. So you have to find out what you want. You want to travel, meaning moving every week or every month or something like that, or you want to stay on a certain spot, or you want to work from there. That's the next decision when you're absolutely clear. Okay, what kind of lifestyle do you want? Second is, what kind of work do you do? Is there a chance that you can do the job you're doing right now? Maybe you're working in a corporate world remotely. A very good friend of mine, she is a top manager with Microsoft. And she runs her team from Bali, and I guess she flies one or two times a year to meet her team in face to face. But she's German, and she runs the whole team, the whole team virtually from Bali. So that's the next stuff. So can you just shift your full-time job in the corporate world from your office to remote? Is it possible, and do you want to do so? So maybe you say, no, I want to do something different. If you want to do the same stuff, talk to your boss if it's possible, and then you can go. Or you say, no, I want to do something different, and maybe you already have a part-time business or you start a business. And as I said before, when you're starting a new business or going into a new environment, maybe new country, new legislation, a different language, no network, you really should be prepared because it's really much harder. And when I look back just the last years in Mallorca, I saw many people coming with their dream, because some people make the mistake, like Jacalyn, they go somewhere on vacation to Bali, to Costa Rica, or to Mallorca. Say, oh, it's beautiful there, the beach, the sun. And then they believe they move there, work a little bit, and relax on the beach. The reality is, when you build up a new business, not knowing the language, not knowing legislation, having no network, you don't see the beach at all. You're working 14, 15 hours to survive. That's reality. That's absolute reality. I met so many people in Mallorca. I moved to Mallorca because I had my business outside of Mallorca. So I came back to Mallorca. It was my hideaway, but I was traveling the whole world and facilitating training. It was a different approach. I didn't have to make money in Mallorca, and I didn't make any money in Mallorca. I just spent my money in Mallorca. So you have to consider this. Because most people say, yeah, it's nice on holiday. Making holidays or spending holidays in a nice area is different than building up a business. That's something totally different. You have to keep in mind this. And then starting by scratch, and then when you move to a country, learn legislations, the rules, how to found a company, learn the language for sure. It's very, very important to learn the language. So important. Yeah, and then step by step, but there are many steps to consider. It's not something to do. And as I saw many people trying to live their dream, and they broke after a few months. They get homesick, I miss my family and stuff like that. So they went back to their country, or the business was not working, or because they didn't speak the language, they trusted somebody who spoke the language and was a big fraud, and they lost the money or whatever. And we had a saying in Mallorca, Dr. Jacalyn, how to make $1 million on Mallorca? Bring 2 millions.
I love that. Something that you touched on, and I've shared this before. I'm lucky to be able to go between two different places, and the beach is literally 3 blocks from here. I have not been to the beach. People are like, oh, it must be so nice. I'm like, I'm working. It doesn't matter where I am. People say, what's the weather? I'm like, let me look outside. I don't know, because I've been in the studio working. So it's a really good point. If you are really committed to making your business work, you are going to be working, not looking for ways to vacation. That's something completely different.
Absolutely. I'm standing here close to a nice beach. Of course, I go to the beach when I make a working break. When I make a break, I walk my dog to the beach an hour. And I do it. But I'm not spending the whole day on the beach. I'm not on vacation. I just work where other people are doing spending their vacation. That's the difference. I'm working where other people do vacation. But I'm not lying on the beach or just being in the mountains every day. I don't do that. Or when I'm in a city, of course, I do some sightseeing. Yes, when I'm in a city, in a beautiful one, but not the whole day and not the whole week. Most of the time, it's normal work. And that's what I said at the beginning. You have to really bring this working attitudes. You have to bring discipline, responsibility. But nobody's telling you when you start or something. You really. And to be honest, when I prepared my trip to Norway, I was writing down again my so I don't forget it, my ritual. So getting up at 5 in the morning, doing my workout, 30 minutes workout, 30 minutes stretching, yoga, then an hour with my dog, and so on. So I was writing down my daily routine, and then I have in the morning. So after all this, I do a 3 hours work, 3 hours very focused work. Then I do a late breakfast because we do 6 to 8 intermittent fasting. Then I walk my dog a little bit, or do some napping, or reading a book, or whatever. And then I have another 3 hours focused working stuff. Then I do a late lunch or early dinner, whatever you call it, a little break, and then do another 2 to 3 hours work. That's what I'm doing. And then I'm free, and actually I'm running these shows now. And afterwards I go a short walk with my dog. And today we have European championship in soccer and football, so I'm gonna see a match in 1.5 hours. That's what I'm doing today. But normally I also have working hours at night. So I really have I'm writing it down. When I prepare a trip to another country, I'm preparing it, and I try to keep it. Sometimes I have to move a little bit because I'm moving the place, so I'm traveling a little bit more. But I always have my daily routine to remember, okay, get this, because it's so easy when you're on a beautiful spot. Oh my gosh, I do this and I do this. No, you still have to work to make income.
I agree with everything you said, and thanks for the transparency and sharing what your routine is. I also write everything down. I've got it written right here, and then I'll say it out loud to remind myself. I'm reading Think and Grow Rich, and there's certain steps that you have to take. So how much money you want to have and by when, and then what you're willing to do. And so I've got it all written down. And recently I had some people come and visit me. They're on vacation, and I explained to them,
That's sure. I'm not cheating.
Yeah. And I explained to them before they got here, I said, I'm just letting you know, you can have free run of the house. I am working though. And in the beginning, it was kind of, well, can't you do this? And can you do? No, I'm working. This is what I'm doing. I'm working. And it's not for everyone, but for me, I've written down, I will work 6 days a week doing this, and this. And in order to do this, I will stay committed to my career and prioritize my work. And I read it out loud every day before I go to sleep. And then when I wake up, so that I know what it is I'm looking to do and why I'm doing it.
Absolutely. The why is also, good to mention that, Jacalyn. It's not only make a schedule, you need a strong why that you keep you going, because it's not always easy. And then sometimes, actually I was traveling a lot of many miles the last days, and this morning I was, oh my gosh, I want to sleep longer. I said, no, I get up early. It was hard this morning. It was hard. And it was really exhausting because I was also traveling 5 hours a day. It was hard. And then, and to be honest, tomorrow I only have 25 miles to drive to the ferry boat. The ferry is leaving tomorrow 10 p.m. or something like that. So it's only 25 miles. I can sleep long tomorrow. That's why I said, no, tomorrow I can sleep long. I said, no, 5 a.m. I get up, I walk on the beach. And because my normal routine is 5. And I forgot my how you call it, my headlight. And so I called my dear friend Piero, whom I'm going to meet in Norway, and I said, Piero, because he's an outdoor specialist, I said, hey, can you organize me a good headlight, and I pay it for you? And he was sending me a picture. It was midnight, because I was texting him around 11 something p.m. And around midnight he was texting me back in a picture and said, Roland, don't worry, the sun is not going down here. We have midsummer. I call it midsummer, so it's daylight the whole fucking time. You don't need a headlight. So I said, oh my gosh, this will be challenging. The sun is not going down, so it's not going to get dark. So I thought, you know what? Maybe I'm going to change my routine. I will tell you the next show. Maybe I'm going to change my routine and I get up at 4. Maybe I try that one, because it's for me, to be honest, I don't know how about you, Dr. Jacalyn, or how to our audience. Maybe you want to write in the comments on our audience. For me, it's easier in summertime here in Europe in summertime to get up in the morning when the daylight is already there. It's winter. Sometimes it's really hard and it's dark outside. It's cold outside. To get out of bed, it's much harder. I don't know how about you, Dr. Jacalyn. Are you in Florida? I guess it's always hard for.
No, I'm in New Jersey, actually.
Sorry.
I'm in New Jersey.
I'm New Jersey at the moment. Okay. So for me, it's sometimes hard in winter, when it's cold outside and it's still dark outside to get out. Sometimes it's really difficult for me because what I do is my daily routine would help me to get out. When I get up in the morning, I get up, I jump out, I take my dog and I take it out for a walk. So that's what I immediately do. It really helps me, to moving and breathing fresh air, because getting out of bed and then staying in a motorhome or in the house, I got on a sofa and fall asleep again, to be honest. So I get out, and this is it's really tough when it's dark outside. So I was thinking about when the sun is not going down in Norway, maybe I get up at 4. I will try it out. I will let you know.
Absolutely. This has been another fabulous episode where you've shared a lot of really important information. And I'm just so honored that on the 100th episode here on the Mallorca Connection, you brought continuous value. Roland,
Sure.
what are some of the ways in which you can help people who are wanting to hire you? How can you work together with someone?
Thank you. Maybe can you bring up my website? It's called wirelessliferocks.com. Maybe you can bring up my website. It's also available in English, and then we can the audience can see what I'm doing. So I'm coming from a business background. I was running different businesses after my corporate career. I have almost 30 years experience in consulting, coaching, facilitating trainings, workshops for leaders all over the globe. And besides that, I built up Wireless Life Rocks, I guess, I don't remember, 4 years ago or 5 years ago. So and Wireless Life Rocks is for people who want to change something. Some people are changing because out of a crisis, they're losing their job, or they get separated from their husband or from their wives, depending on the sex you have. So they go through a crisis, or they have a health crisis, and they say, okay, I want to change something. I want to get out of this treadmill. I want to travel. I want to combine traveling or being in a nice spot in a different area, maybe in a warmer climate or in a colder climate or whatever, and work from them. From there, all people just don't come out from a crisis and I want to change something. I haven't done it now. I was in a corporate world successfully for 5, 10, 15, 20 years. I was running a business successfully. I want to get rid of it. I want to do something different. So there are different backgrounds for my customers coming to me, and who know me and said, okay, can you coach me? What's your advice? And so this is the website, and what's not on the website, I'm building up a coaching community, a Wireless Life Rocks community, and I offer a full year support. So when you're interested, ladies and gentlemen, send me an email. I will give you a full year support. So we have an online, we do it online. Every week we have a call together. You get a full week, a full year support on a weekly basis to transform your present lifestyle in a wireless lifestyle, or if you really already started your transformation, maybe we find a different or a better way to make a good living and a happy life. So you're more than welcome to contact me, and I'm offering a full year support.
It's fantastic. What can people expect to get in this year of support?
2 things. Of course, to get a lot of experience and expertise from myself and coaching and training. But as we build up a community, when you join us, it's not only me. I bring different experts in, but you can also interact with all the other delegates who join us from a year, and you can also learn from their routines, and you can support each other. You become buddies and you support each other. It's not only me delivering, facilitating. You can also learn and benefit from the other members in the group. Yeah. And you get a full support, whatever it is. We talk about mindset, we talk about legal stuff, we talk about if you don't have a business opportunity anymore, maybe we find together business opportunity. We can find ways to make money. I can show you different offers, and then we find out what fits best to your personality and the desired lifestyle. How should we transform this? How you move? What you have to keep in mind when you move alone, or if you're a partner, or even when you have kids, how to find a school, what's cool, stuff like that. So it's a full package, and it's not a fixed program. So what we do when we start is we'll ask all participants, okay, text me what you want, and then we work on that what you really need. It's not it's a tailor-made program that is a personal fit on your personal desires and your personal circumstances, but we do it in a group together there. So you have every week we have a live session where you had Q&As for different topics, and you have one-to-one sessions, but you also have the interaction between all the members, and you can learn from each other and support each other, and maybe you meet somewhere the other guys. That's what I'm offering.
Thank you. Thank you. Please do reach out to Roland. We've got your website up here. Any other way that you'd like people to contact you?
Yeah, I mean, you can use the contact form on the website, or you can use my most used email. It's office@roland-friedl.com. That's the best way to contact me. I normally answer in between 24 hours, but I'm not always online, as you can realize from the show. Sometimes there's network issues, but I try my best. Yeah, I reach out to you, and you're more than welcome to contact me. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, thank you, my friend. I wish you safe travels tomorrow, safe ferry ride, and hopefully we'll be able to see you next week.
Yeah, I hope so. Maybe a good network in the wildness of Norway we do, and otherwise in 2 weeks. Thank you so much. All the best.
And congratulations, 100 episodes.
Yeah, it's amazing. Thank you.
Bye for now.
Bye.
Please do reach out to Roland. He truly is someone who can help you. He's given me a lot of mentorship in the last 3 years, a lot of guidance, and it's really paid off. So the same can happen for you. You just have to make the effort. All right, as we close out, I just have a final piece of information I want to share with you. For those of you who are not aware, we actually have 2 YouTube channels. One is USA Global TV, and the other is Dr. Jacalyn-Kerbeck. So our goal is to get both of these channels to 100,000 subscribers. And the reason being, we have people from all over the world who are on our team, whether it's our TV show hosts, our guests, our sponsors, and we want to get them in front of as many people as possible because we provide education, hope, and inspiration here. So if you haven't done so, if you're watching on one of the other platforms, please go over to our YouTube channels and subscribe. That would mean so much. So we started, I would say, 2.5 weeks ago at 37,895. And as of a few moments ago, we're actually at 38,850. So we continue to move up. And then on this channel, which we haven't updated recently, we're actually, we started at 6,949, and right now we're at 7,108. So people are listening and they are going and subscribing. So please subscribe to USA Global TV and also Dr. Jacalyn-Kerbeck over on YouTube. Thank you very much. Again, this was our 100th episode of the Mallorca Connection. And now we're coming back with the Listening Mentor Show. And we're going to be discussing with the Harley Street stress expert, Caroline Heward, about parent-child relationships and giving some tips to help there. All right, we'll see you again soon. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.